Welcome back to Before AGI Weekly. This week, AI has been moving crazy fast, like from China shaking things up to AI literally making scientific discoveries on its own.
It really is remarkable, the sheer speed of development, but also, how AI is impacting everything from geopolitics to the future of work, like you said.
Absolutely. And speaking of shaking things up, we've got to start with this DeepSeek story.
Oh, yeah.
So a Chinese AI company, DeepSeek, just released a model that's outperforming some of OpenAI's stuff, the big names, but at a fraction of the cost. And get this, they're making it open source.
Yeah, this is a really big deal, and for a few reasons. First, it really challenges, that assumption that the U.S. has this monopoly on cutting-edge AI technology, right?
Yeah.
And then second, this open source approach, it could totally democratize AI development, so making the technology much more accessible to startups, researchers, and even maybe you and me, we could get in on this.
Wait, so you're saying I could potentially build my own AI with
Right.
this open source stuff?
It's becoming more and more possible, and that's why this DeepSeek move is sparking this huge debate about open source versus closed source AI.
Right.
So on one hand, open source could really accelerate innovation, make AI more widely available. But on the other hand, there are concerns about, safety control.
Yeah.
Like, what if this powerful AI gets into the wrong hands?
That's a really good point. I mean, it's exciting and a little bit scary at the same time.
Absolutely.
So for someone who works in tech, what does this actually mean for them?
Okay, so imagine a world where instead of, relying on these expensive proprietary AI tools, you could access these powerful open source models and then customize them for your own specific needs.
Wow.
So it could level the playing field for, smaller companies and lead to just this explosion of new AI applications.
So it's not just about the tech itself, but also who has access to it and how it's controlled. This whole open source thing could really shift the power dynamics in the AI world.
Absolutely. This shift is happening right now in real time. Even Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has hinted that they might be rethinking their closed source approach just because of DeepSeek's success.
Wow, that's huge. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about how AI is impacting the future of work. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella had some interesting things to say about this in a recent podcast. He actually believes that AI won't eliminate knowledge work altogether, but it will definitely change it.
Yeah, he actually used a really interesting analogy. He said it's like lean manufacturing, but applied to knowledge work.
Okay.
He thinks we'll move toward a model where knowledge workers manage teams of AI agents to be more efficient and productive.
So instead of replacing us, AI will become our coworker in a way.
That's the idea. Nadella actually said he uses around 10 AI agents himself for things like sorting emails, drafting responses, and even compiling research.
That's actually really cool. So I could have an AI agent writing these podcast scripts for me? That would be amazing.
Haha, maybe someday.
Okay.
But Nadella also highlighted some potential roadblocks to this AI-powered future. He talked about societal concerns over job displacement and the need for a return on labor alongside, a return on capital.
Right.
So we might start valuing different types of human labor in a world where AI can automate so much.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about how we adapt our values and economic systems as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
Absolutely. And Nadella also brought up the legal challenges.
Yeah.
Our current legal system is just not equipped to deal with AI making decisions and taking actions.
Right.
There are a lot of unanswered questions about liability when AI is involved.
Right. Who's responsible when a self-driving car crashes or an AI medical diagnosis system makes a mistake?
Exactly. These are the kinds of questions we need to be thinking about as we move towards a future where AI is more and more involved in our daily lives.
Okay, so we've got AI shaking up the tech world, changing the future of work, and even posing some thorny legal questions. Now let's talk about something a little more mind-blowing, AI that can do science.
Yeah.
Google just launched a system called the AI Co-Scientist, and it's already making some pretty incredible discoveries.
What's really fascinating about the AI co-scientist is how it uses a team of specialized AI agents, almost like a scientific research team.
Oh, wow.
So you've got agents that generate new hypotheses, agents that analyze data, agents that design experiments, and even agents that evolve the hypotheses based on the results.
But so you're telling me these AI agents are working together like a little scientific think tank?
That's right. And the results are incredible. The AI co-scientist has already identified new drug candidates for leukemia, proposed new targets for treating liver fibrosis, and even independently made a discovery about antibiotic resistance that took human scientists years to figure out.
Hold on, it made the same discovery as human scientists, but on its own. That's insane.
It really highlights the potential of AI not just to automate tasks, but to actually augment human intelligence and accelerate scientific discovery. It's a glimpse into a future where AI and human scientists work side by side to solve some of the world's most challenging problems.
That's a pretty exciting thought. Okay, so we've got AI disrupting industries, changing the way we work, and even doing science. Is there anything AI can't do?
Well, maybe not everything.
Okay, well, we'll delve into that. Plus, NVIDIA's game-changing healthcare AI right after this.
Well, it seems like AI is, becoming more capable every single day, but even the most advanced systems still have limitations, like take OpenAI's recent experiment where they tried to see if their top models could earn $1 million from, freelance software engineering tasks.
Oh, yeah, I read about that. They basically set these AI agents loose on Upwork to see if they could make bank, right? So did they become millionaire coders?
Not even close. They used over 1,400 real freelance tasks and even OpenAI's best models, GPT-4 and Codex. They just couldn't solve most of the coding challenges. It turns out AI still struggles with real-world complexity.
Huh. That's actually kind of reassuring to hear. It means us human software engineers are still essential, at least for now.
So what were these AI agents tripping up on exactly? The AI was really good at finding bugs in the code, but fixing them in a way that actually solved, the underlying problem, not so much. They really struggled to grasp the context, the user requirements, the big picture. They could point to the where, but not the why of a bug.
So they lack that human intuition and problem-solving ability. It sounds like there's still a big gap between AI coding and what human software engineers can do.
Yeah.
But speaking of AI making money, didn't a Microsoft researcher propose that as a new kind of Turing test?
Yes. Mustafa Suleyman suggested that instead of using these abstract benchmarks, we should challenge AI to earn $1 million in the real world.
Oh, that's interesting.
A much more practical test, wouldn't you say?
Definitely more interesting than seeing if a chatbot can fool someone in a text conversation. So OpenAI's coding challenge was kind of a step in that direction, even if their AIs didn't, hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
But speaking of money, there were some huge funding announcements this week that I think are worth mentioning.
For sure. Together AI, a company that provides infrastructure for open source models, just secured $305 million in Series B funding. So a clear sign that investors are really betting big on open source AI.
Wow, that's serious cash. And what about that other big funding round, the one with the crazy valuation, the one that everyone's whispering about?
Ah, you mean Safe Superintelligence, the venture founded by Ilya Sutskever? The rumor mill is churning with talk of a $30 billion valuation and Green Oaks Capital Partners leading the charge. But details are scarce. Sutskever's keeping things very hush-hush for now.
$30 billion. Whatever they're building, it must be groundbreaking. It seems like everyone's jumping on the AI bandwagon these days, not just startups, but also established companies like Meta. They're reportedly investing heavily in humanoid robots.
Yes. Imagine robots that can, help you around the house, maybe even provide companionship. Meta is starting with advanced sensors, but their goal is to create robots that, seamlessly interact with us in our daily lives.
That sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Right.
But given how fast AI is advancing, it might not be as far-fetched as it seems. Speaking of sci-fi, let's switch back to the real world and talk about healthcare. You mentioned earlier something about NVIDIA's game-changing AI for healthcare.
Yes, NVIDIA just launched Evo 2, and it's really causing a major stir. They're calling it the largest AI system for biological discovery ever created. Evo 2 can analyze trillions of genetic fragments. Think of it like genomics on steroids.
Okay, that sounds really impressive, but what does it actually mean for people like me who aren't scientists?
Imagine a future where your doctor can sequence your entire genome and then use AI to pinpoint, potential health risks and create personalized treatments just for you. That's the kind of revolution that Evo 2 could spark.
So faster diagnoses, personalized medicine, maybe even cures for diseases that are currently incurable. This is some really next-level stuff. But all this incredible progress also brings up, ethical questions.
Absolutely. And one area where this is really playing out is in the art world. Remember the recent controversy over Christie's auctioning off AI-generated art?
Yeah, that caused quite a stir. Artists were up in arms, claiming that these AI art generators were stealing their styles and ideas. It's like a clash between the old and the new.
It is. AI art generators are trained on these massive data sets of existing art, which raises questions about copyright. Do these AI systems infringe on artists' rights? Is AI art truly original? It's a debate that's going to rage on as AI becomes more and more sophisticated.
It's like the Wild West out there, with technology moving faster than the law can keep up.
Yeah.
So how do we even navigate these ethical dilemmas as AI becomes more powerful?
Well, that's a question that a lot of people are wrestling with right now. We need to think critically about how we regulate AI without stifling innovation. The EU, for example, recently withdrew a proposal that would have held AI developers strictly liable for any harm caused by their systems.
Yeah.
It faced a lot of pushback from the tech industry who argued it was just too restrictive.
It sounds like striking the right balance is really tricky, but it is encouraging to see organizations like the Partnership on AI working to develop, ethical guidelines and best practices for AI development.
Definitely bringing together AI companies, researchers, and civil society groups is crucial for ensuring that AI is developed and used responsibly. And it's not just about preventing harm, it's about ensuring that AI is used to address important challenges like climate change, poverty, and disease.
It all comes back to that idea of AI as a tool,
Yeah.
right? It's up to us as humans to decide how we want to use it.
Exactly. And that requires informed and engaged citizens who are actively involved in shaping the future of AI.
Okay, so we've explored the ethical landscape, but let's shift gears and dive into the technical advancements that are making all of this possible.
From what I've been reading, it seems like language models are becoming more and more sophisticated, and they're really driving a lot of the AI applications that we've been talking about.
That's right. We're seeing a trend towards larger and more complex language models, or LLMs. They're the foundation of everything from chatbots to research assistants to those coding agents that we discussed. But building these massive models requires a lot of data and computing power.
Right.
Does this mean that AI development is just going to be concentrated in the hands of a few large tech companies?
It's a valid concern. The resources required to train these massive models are significant, which could lead to an AI arms race where only the biggest players can compete. But there is a growing movement towards responsible AI development, emphasizing fairness, transparency, and accountability.
So it's not just about building bigger and more powerful AI, but also about ensuring that AI is developed and used in a way that aligns with human values and goals.
Precisely. We're seeing growing interest in explainable AI, or XAI, which aims to make AI more understandable and interpretable to humans. This is really essential for building trust in AI and making sure it's used to benefit society as a whole.
It sounds like there's a shift happening in the AI community, moving beyond just the pursuit of raw power and towards a more nuanced and thoughtful approach to AI development.
Exactly. And this leads to a really fundamental question. What is the purpose of AI? Is it just to build machines that can outperform humans, or is it to create tools that can augment human capabilities and help us solve complex problems?
It seems like that's a question that goes beyond technology. It's a question about what it means to be human in an age of increasingly intelligent machines. But before we get too philosophical, let's explore some of the future possibilities of AI. What are some of the trends that you're most excited about?
Well, one trend I'm really fascinated by is how AI is converging with other cutting-edge technologies like quantum computing and blockchain.
Okay, now we're getting really futuristic. Quantum computing and blockchain are pretty mind-boggling on their own. What happens when you throw AI into the mix?
You can imagine quantum computers with their incredible processing power, like supercharging AI algorithms, right? It could lead to breakthroughs in fields like drug discovery materials, science, financial modeling, solving problems that are currently beyond, our reach.
So we're talking about AI that's not just smarter, but orders of magnitude faster. And what about blockchain? How does that fit into the picture?
Well, blockchain's decentralized and secure nature could be a game changer for addressing some of those ethical concerns we talked about around AI.
Right.
It could help create more transparent and accountable AI systems, track the origin of training data, and even enable new forms of decentralized AI development.
So instead of AI development being controlled by a few big companies, blockchain could empower, individuals and communities to participate.
Yeah.
That would be a real democratization of AI.
Exactly. And it's already starting to happen. There are projects like SingularityNet and Fetch AI that are building these decentralized AI marketplaces where anyone can buy and sell AI services.
That's incredible. It really does sound like we're on the cusp of a real AI revolution.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier, the development of more sophisticated and human-like AI agents.
Yeah.
What will it take to create these AI agents that can truly collaborate with humans as partners?
I think one key challenge is developing AI systems that understand and can respond to human emotions and social cues.
Right.
We need AI that can not only, process information, but also empathize and build relationships.
So we need AI that can read between the lines, so to speak. AI that understands not just what we say, but how we feel.
Precisely. And this requires advances in fields like natural language processing, computer vision, even psychology.
Yeah.
We need AI that can interpret facial expressions, tone of voice, and all those other subtle cues that we humans use to communicate.
So it's like teaching AI to be emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
Speaking of intelligence, what about that quest for artificial general intelligence, or AGI? Is that something that's on the horizon?
AGI, or AI that has the same cognitive abilities as a human, that's still a long way off, but we are seeing some progress in areas like transfer learning,
Okay.
where AI systems can apply knowledge learned in one domain to new and different tasks.
So instead of having to train an AI from scratch for every new task, we could have AI systems that are more adaptable and can learn on the fly. That would be a huge step towards AGI.
Absolutely. And we're also seeing research into AI systems that can reason and make decisions based on incomplete information, something that humans do pretty effortlessly.
Right. It's like moving from AI that can just follow instructions to AI that can actually think for itself. It's exciting and a little bit scary all at the same time.
It is. But that's why it's so important to have these conversations, to explore both the potential benefits and the potential risks of AI. The future of AI is ultimately up to us as humans to shape.
I couldn't agree more. This has been a truly amazing deep dive into the world of AI. Thanks for joining us and sharing your insights.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a fascinating conversation.
And to all of our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to Before AGI Weekly. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and visit Ian Okieng AI on YouTube for more in-depth discussions and tutorials. Until next time, stay curious and stay ahead of the AI curve.